Another week, another CNFT brew. It's time to look at the highlights from last week in the CNFT space and look at some of the most exciting drops happening this week and some interesting projects that have entered my CNFT radar. Let's go. It's Tuesday, March 8th. The weekly brew usually comes out on Monday, and the newsletter indeed did. But the reason why the video is coming out a little bit late is because I had a very interesting stream with FutureFest last night where they dropped a bit of a bomb on the CNFT community. More on that in a bit. So as usual, we'll start off by looking at the drops happening this week. Then we'll move on to CNFT Radar, project that I'm excited about. And then we'll look at the highlights of the week and end it off with my thoughts, what I've been doing in the market, and in particular, what's going on with the current state of the market. Is it a bear market? But before we dive into all that, make sure to hit that like button, and really close to that like button is the subscribe button. So you might as well hit that as well. I'm a small YouTuber, so every like and subscribe feels special, feels like I minted something really rare. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Ugly Bros is doing their ugly community drop right now. If you were on the whitelist, you might have already been able to pick up some, but the public mint is happening today, Tuesday at 6 p.m. UTC. It's 40 ADA each, one per transaction, only 2,000 in the collection. I think these look really cool. We got some really cool artists participating in the project. Shout out to Odd Boys, Lewis from Death Squad, Nomies, and more. Of course, I missed out on the whitelist, even though I have a Season 1 Ugly. I just, I don't have the time to remember to register my wallets, but I'm hoping to get one at the public mint. Another drop that's happening right now is Greyhound Society. I haven't looked into them that much. I kind of like the style of the artwork. They have a decent roadmap, and they seem to have a pretty good team behind it. And if you're on the whitelist, you know all about this because you are currently minting, but the public starts tomorrow, I believe at the same time, 7 p.m. UTC. So that's Wednesday the 9th, 7 p.m. UTC. It is a 10K collection. I'm not expecting it to sell out instantly. Bizarre Stars, I had my eye on this one. Even though I don't have a Season 1, I really wish that I did, but they delayed their drop. So it didn't happen yesterday like it was supposed to. Check out the Discord for updates on that. But if you have a Season 1, you'll be able to mint one of the 4,444. It's 100 ADA each, not cheap, but I really like the project. Mad Cows Club is dropping on Friday, March 11th. Shout out to Crypto Jess. She's part of the Viking squad, great community member, and she is the artist behind Mad Cows Club. So they have a supply of 5,000, gonna be 42 ADA each. Definitely a playful, fun little project that you might want to check out. Now, Juke Boys was on my CNFT radar, and now they move into this section because they are minting on Saturday, I believe. It's the 12th, yes, Saturday. 60 ADA each, 5K supply, 7 p.m. UTC on the 12th. I'm still gonna up my due diligence before this mint, see if I actually want to mint, because in the current market condition, I am trying to be more careful, do even more research before I mint anything new. But like I said in last week's brew, I think they have a cool concept and might be filling a gap in the market a little bit with their focus on music and pop culture. And honestly, guys, that's it for the projects that jumped out at me. Like I said, I'm trying to be more careful and more picky about the projects that I look into minting. Obviously, you can find a more complete list on When CNFT, but I curated for the weekly brew. Just tell you about the ones that I think are worth looking at. The only other one that almost made the cut was Garden Valley Roaches, so you can check that one out yourself if you are interested in minting on Sunday. So a pretty quiet week in terms of new drops. After this week, I think things are going to start picking up because you can see my CNFT radar becoming a pretty long list and almost a problem considering that I don't want to spend a lot of ADA, but I added 6 new projects to the CNFT radar. If you want to hear my thoughts on previous projects, check out my previous weekly brew videos. And as you know, this is all from my newsletter where I go into more depth about everything. So you can subscribe to that with a link in the description. So the first addition to my CNFT radar is Pigeon Hodl. I think this is a pretty fun project, and I'm really sad that I missed out on Season 1. I believe there are 9 seasons. Very limited drops, only 111, I believe, and it was done through Artano. That's already a good sign in my book. I like what Artano is doing, their curating process, they have people that know what they're doing, and that shows. Like, this project is really high quality. I like the animation, I like the style. It's really good quality. Yes, they are expensive, but if you're looking for that project that strikes that balance of a traditional, PFP NFT project and art, I think this is definitely one to look at. Now, the next project is Prosperia. This is a project that has come up on my radar mostly on Discord. I've heard Vikings talk about them, so I'm intrigued. Is it a metaverse? Is it a game? They say it's a sci-fi world being designed and developed as a hybrid world we call Prosperverse, MMO. So they're basically building their own world, and they're going to be creating NFT assets that you can use in this world. Very ambitious. I like the look of them. The team seems pretty legitimate. They are minting in just over 17 days. Then we have Split World. This is a team that I'm actually looking forward to talking to very soon because I want to know more about their project before they launch. They are really focusing on that customization aspect, which I think is going to be big in CNFTs. I think that's the next big thing, and they are trying to do things properly. It looks like they partnered up with M Labs. If you haven't checked it out, they did an AMA with Crypto Heaps the other day, which I tuned into. The NFT assets just look really cool, but what I like about it is that it's not just a PFP, right? They are trying to build something really big. Then we have Bright Leaf Laboratories, who apparently tweeted my weekly brew. Thank you guys. Now, this is probably some of the coolest 3D art I've seen in a long time. Just the quality of their sneak peeks and previews is just insane. What I really like this project is that they are actually planning on planting trees in the real world. That is their goal. They are having people do that in the Discord server, metaphorically, of course, virtually. And they're playing a bit of a hard to get, not really opening up their Discord to everyone. So I haven't really been able to look at the project closely, but just based on their mission and their quality, definitely worth keeping an eye on. Next, we have Rorschach. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but they are minting next Monday. So not this week, but minting really soon. One of the coolest generative art projects I've seen in a long time. 999, pretty limited, hand-selected creatures. So they keep evolving. It's a cool concept on its own, but they just look really cool, and you can see the evolution here, how they constantly change, and that's forever. I think this would be really cool to have in your wallet, and I think it's going to sell out. I am definitely going to be prioritizing this drop next Monday. Next, we have Onboard NFT. I can't tell you much about it. They don't have a Discord. They just launched their Twitter, so it's very new, but I'm keeping an eye on it just because I think the style is great. It's high quality illustrations, and they also have given us some animated previews, which looks pretty cool and unique. So those are all of my new additions to my CNFT radar. If you know about something that I don't, let me know in the comments, because I can't promise that I know about every single thing that's happening in the space. Try my best though. Now let's look at some of the latest CNFT news, starting with what I mentioned earlier, FutureFest dropping a bomb on my stream, announcing Cascade as their main headliner for the upcoming NFT holder event. Cascade, you probably know who Cascade is. If you don't, what are you doing with your life? You should look him up, listen to some of his music. I love EDM. I'm a huge Deadmau5 fan, for example, and Cascade is on that similar level. His resume is incredible, so having somebody like that on Cardano is pretty big. If we're going to continue to grow as a blockchain, having exposure from, those big celebrities, it plays a part. We're not relying on it, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Happy birthday, everyone. The CNFT space became 1 year old last week, and the Rats DAO organized a pretty cool campaign with a birthday berry mint, where you could mint one of these birthday berries, and then they created a gold version and sent to Alessandro himself. A lot of people talking about the bear market, looking at the volume, and being pretty pessimistic. More on that in a bit. But it was a busy week in terms of exciting drops and projects launching. Overexposed released their Genesis token, obviously sold out, and the floor price spiked up to almost 1,000 ADA, I believe. Hype had their Vapor event. You can vaporize your skulls. You can still do that. Mystic Monks sold out. Vampire Invasion. Still minting. I think it's up to about 4,000 out of 10,000 minted. Radioactive Croc sold out. Cardolphins, Metadams, Nifty sold out, Earth Natives, I believe it's just about sold out right now. And I went a little bit crazy with Earth Natives because I love their artwork. The artist behind Earth Natives was actually my undervalued, underappreciated artist of the week. More on that in the newsletter, which you can subscribe to. Pneumonium had their drop. Pitch and Huddle, who I've mentioned before, sold out. And then the Rats DAO ended their one-day mint for the birthday berry. Disco Solaris had a massive sale. I'm not sure about the details of it. I just know that it was a 125k sale for Disco Solaris number 7. Pretty crazy because that's like very rare space buds type of price, right? But I'm assuming everything is legitimate here. I have no reason to think otherwise. So congrats to buyer and seller of this amazing piece. Spacebuds launched their new website, which looks really good, but people were noticing that message and kind of reading into it and maybe wondering if there's something more to come for Spacebuds holders. Now, as I mentioned in a previous brew, Cornucopia sold out their 11,900, I believe, Bubble Jet collection, and now it's time for the GTI Javelin NFT collection. So they're going to be dropping the details on that in the next few days, so keep an eye out in their Discord. Teddy Trooper was a project that kind of came out of nowhere, but sold out really fast. People were loving it, and Patrick Toppler actually gave them a lot of credit for implementing this identity, decentralized identifier. He was saying this is going to reduce rug pulls and stolen art because you can directly connect the NFT to the official social profiles, for example. Growing Pains had a really cool campaign where they are making actual physical versions of the NFTs. These just look incredible. They say they are the first project to do this. I believe Clays might have done a few physicals before, but either way, really cool. And now I'm sad I don't have one for my shelf right there. Now, if you haven't seen my chat with the Forgotten team, now might be a good time. There they talked about how they're developing 3D metaverse-ready assets, and they weren't joking around because just a couple of days or a day after my chat, they came out with this minting machine, and they were airdropping these to some holders, and here you can see it in action. I think it looks really good. Dirtbirds has released some exciting updates recently, and including kind of a summary of how the first Cornucopia's mint went. Seems like they've learned a few lessons and are continuing to develop that technology, that multi-sig technology, and teasing some more partnerships. Pendulum, it's been on my CNFT radar for a long time, opening their Discord, saying that they're done with their artwork. So they haven't announced a drop date yet, but the project seems to be progressing really well, so I'm keeping a close eye on that. Now, Block Owls opened up a whitelist for their Season 2. Of course, I missed out on that. You had to fill out a form. Congrats if you made it. Now, that's it for the CNFT news. Now, a quick update on what I've been up to and my thoughts on the current market conditions. Now, as you might have noticed, things have been slowing down, cooling down significantly in the CNFT space, but not just the CNFT space. On Ethereum and pretty much all blockchains, NFT sales, NFT volume is down. Is this really surprising? Not really, considering what's going on in the traditional markets and the crypto markets and just what's going on in Ukraine, right? This is bound to affect people's pockets. People are more fearful, and the people that are here mostly for those quick gains, that quick profit, they're out of here. They are either more comfortable holding cash, expecting things to dip even further, or they are just trying to invest in less risky assets. I don't blame them. But am I worried? Not really. There are a lot of reasons why. You can check out my video where I talk about and give 11 reasons for why I think NFTs are here to stay in the long run. We dipped below 1 million ADA in volume for the second time this year. But let's just go to late December, where going above 1 million in volume was almost unheard of. Like, we just did it a few times throughout Q4, right? So now we are back to those levels where we were 3 months ago. Nothing has changed my opinion on where Cardano is going. Nothing has changed my opinion on where NFTs are going. And because I am in it for the long run, I actually see it as a great opportunity to buy some blue chip. I hate to say it, but I'm actually hoping that blue chip projects keep dipping a little bit so I can buy them for cheap. I'll happily take them away from those who FOMO'd in and are now panic selling at a discount. What I am doing is that I'm gonna become a little bit more cautious and selective in what I mint. So I'm not going to be minting as much as I did in February. I might be selling off a few NFTs, putting that ADA into more blue chip projects, de-risking it that way. But am I taking ADA out of the CNFT space? Not really, because again, I believe in the future of Cardano NFTs. Last week was the last big minting week for me for a while. I minted, 20 Vampire Invasions, 10 Teddy Troopers, and they're all in different wallets. Lots of Cardolphins, 20 plus Adants, Earth Natives. And these are all projects that I'm happy to have minted, but looking forward, especially considering there are so many projects on my CNFT radar, I'm gonna have to be very particular and careful about how I spend my ADA minting new projects. That's it for the weekly CNFT brew, guys. Hit that like, subscribe buttons. Find me on Twitch, CardanoThor there, and on Twitter. Tune into my chat with Jesus2, a project that I'm very excited about tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 p.m. UTC. And join the Viking squad. Jump into the Discord server. We have over 860 Vikings strong in there talking about different projects. Basically, what I've been talking about today, I get a lot of my ideas, discover new projects in there thanks to my Vikings. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.